The most defining change in a generation could come in South Africa as voters head to the ballot box in national and provincial elections. Polls show the governing African National Congress is projected to lose its majority, one it's held since Nelson Mandela swept to power 30 years ago. In the 7 elections since the end of apartheid, the ANC has won each time and the party leader has become president. Support, though, has waned over the years. Violent crime has soared, the economy has struggled. There have been crippling power cuts and the government faces allegations of widespread corruption. Many voters say it's time for a new direction.
I want to see change. I know change won't happen overnight, but it will eventually happen.
I hope my vote will bring change in the country as a whole.
How do we know who's the right people to vote for? Because now it's election, all of the people is going to come for promises, and they're going to say there's food parcels for us, they're going to say they're going to build houses for us, they're going to say everything. But after tomorrow, they forget about us.
South Africa sits on the southernmost tip of Africa. It has a population of about 62 million people. Johannesburg is the largest city, while Cape Town is the legislative centre and Pretoria is the administrative capital. The country has the most advanced economy on the continent, but the highest unemployment rate in the world at 32%. Under the Constitution, voters will elect 400 members of the National Assembly, who then pick the president by a simple majority for a 5-year term. It's currently held by Cyril Ramaphosa. If the ANC fails to secure at least 50% of the vote, it will have to enter negotiations to form a coalition government, and that means he could face a leadership challenge. But if the vote falls even more, the ANC will have limited leverage with other parties.
The workers of this country, the people of this country are not going to allow the ANC to go below 50%.
When you have parties that think that they are the master of all solutions, the source of all wisdom, and meantime South Africa, I've traveled the provinces. This is one of the most talent-rich countries on earth. And then when somebody monopolizes decision-making, monopolizes jobs, monopolizes everything, that is what needs to be broken.
Now, the ANC is still expected to gain the largest share of votes out of the 50 political parties registered. South Africa's main opposition party is the Democratic Alliance. There's also the third biggest party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, or EFF. And then there's Jacob Zuma. The former president was forced to quit in 2018 and he spent time in jail for contempt of court in 2021. Since falling out with the ANC, Mr Zuma has created the breakaway MK Party. The 82-year-old is ineligible to run for parliament this time, but he wields significant influence, particularly in the ANC's traditional Eastern heartlands.
Jacob Zuma has probably been one of the most strategic politicians we've seen in the country, and his political acumen cannot be overstated. I mean, just the ability to enter and not leave the political fray, or leave and then return, is just something I have not seen. I don't think anyone expected Jacob Zuma to be a factor again in this election.
More than 27.5 million people are eligible to vote in the election. The latest poll suggests a third of voters are still undecided, making it the most unpredictable ballot in South Africa's 3 decades of democratic rule. The final results are expected to be announced on Sunday, but the Independent Electoral Commission has indicated there could be an outcome sooner if the count is completed earlier.